Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to break down a mistake that is so subtle, so incredibly easy to make that it can just silently kill a brilliant screenplay before it even gets a chance to breathe. Seriously, it's a trap that countless writers fall right into, and they don't even know it. So let's figure out what it is and, more importantly, how you can steer clear of it. So what is this fatal flaw? What's the number one trap that can take a story with amazing potential and just suck the life right out of it? Well, the answer isn't in your plot, it's not in your structure, it's actually much deeper. It's inside the writer's own mind. All right, to really understand the trap, we first have to talk about power. Your power. See, as a writer, you are the absolute ruler of your story's universe. It's a concept we can call the writer's dominion. Really think about that for a second. Every single thing, every character, every single word they say, every action, every location, it all comes from just one place, your mind. You're the architect, the prime mover, the whole shebang. Nothing, and I mean nothing, exists in your story that you didn't decide to put there. And that total control, well, it's an incredible power. But that's also where the danger is hiding. And that brings us right to the unconscious trap. This is the exact point, the fork in the road where your screenplay's value, its quality, its life force, is decided. It's the moment where all that power can turn right back on you. So the way this trap works is through something called unconscious projection. Now look, because everything is coming from your head, it's totally natural, in fact, it's inevitable, that your own subconscious thoughts and feelings get kind of painted onto your characters. That's not the mistake, that's just part of creating. The real mistake, the sophisticated trap, is what happens next. And here it is. This is the core problem, what we'll call the dangerous merger. You see, on one side you have the writer's emotion. That's your stuff. It's personal. It's subjective. But on the other side, you have the character's emotion. And that needs to be objective. It has to be functional. It only exists to serve the story. The trap snaps shut the second a writer lets their personal feelings completely bleed over and become the character's feelings. So what happens when you fall for it? What are the actual consequences for your screenplay? Well, they're not pretty. We're literally talking about the death of the scenario. The source material we're looking at just nails it. And this is a line every single writer should have tattooed on their brain. The moment the writer's emotion becomes the character's emotion, that scenario has already lost its life. It's that final. Your story is, for all intents and purposes, already gone. So how does a story die like that? Well, the whole narrative starts to fall apart. Why? Because it's not being driven by the story's needs anymore. It's being driven by the writer's personal baggage. Your script stops being a story about characters, and it turns into, well, a personal essay, a diary entry. It completely loses its function as a screenplay for an audience. Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom, I promise. There is a way to avoid this, a way to keep your work alive and kicking, and it all boils down to one essential discipline. Here's the solution. This is the key. You have to actively, and I mean actively, maintain the maximum possible distance from your character's emotions. From page 1 all the way to fade out, you have to treat their feelings as separate from your own. You are their creator, not their emotional twin. That distance is everything. So why is this so critical? Why does it matter this much? Well, because this discipline is what lets a story breathe. It's what gives your characters a life of their own, what makes them feel like real, independent people to an audience, instead of just puppets for your own feelings. So let's boil it all down into 3 simple, actionable steps. First, you've got to acknowledge your absolute power as the creator. Own it. Second, learn to spot the trap. Get good at identifying that emotional merger when it starts creeping into your own writing. And third, practice deliberate emotional distance. Consciously see your characters as separate beings whose feelings are there to serve the plot, not you. And that leaves us with one final and really critical question. A question you have to ask yourself while you write if you want to keep your story alive. Take a hard look at your characters, at the words they're saying and the things they're feeling. Are they speaking with their voice, or are they just echoes of yours?